Right, so we do have Ionized Stardust, which generates. We do have our nebula, yes, generating Ionized Stardust by consuming Stardust, so it's cool. And now I can use those Ionized Stardust to reveal cards. Like this. Perfect. And I can reset the grid. Hey there. In this episode, we will be doing the second part of implementing this sifting minigame to the Stardust product. I suspect we might need a third part because we still have a lot to do. So let's start by upgrading our sifting minigame into an actual view that will be added to the game. So at the moment, we will make it already available at the start, right? So we should need a CC upgrade, for example, to unlock it, but that won't be the case at the moment. So let's just create the view. Here we simply begin by extending the view class and adding the super instruction, right? So that's the only thing we should have to do for this script. So now it's just a matter of adding it to the user interface scene. So we drag and drop the sifting view. Let's hide it by default and give it the user interface as well as its value. It has no value available, so we need to add this in the user interface script. Let's do that. Just name it sifting. Okay, so I need to reload Godot, so I'm coming back. Right. Now I can now choose sifting as value. So that is done. So we need to now create a link. So let's just create a nav link. Link button, is it? Link button. It's gonna be SiftingGame. Ionized Stardust sifting. Okay. And we do want to get this. Unsifting impressed. Perfect. So the sifting minigame should be added to the game now. So we should be able to start and just change view to get to the Ionized Stardust sifting and get exactly what we did in the previous episode. Do we actually have a consciousness core in there? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. That's between 5 and 10, so that's cool. Okay. Now we actually need to have this consuming ionized stardust. Or maybe we should start by adding a button to reset the grid. That could be cool. Let's create the button first. So here, right, we have the view with the grid container. So what I'm going to do is I will add a child node, which will be a sibling to the grid, and that will be a margin container, which is taking the entire space. I will have a 64, let's say, margin on every sides, like this. So this way I can add a button to the right bottom corner, which isn't sticked to the corner, right? So the margin here is just like to avoid the button to be sticking to the wall. So here we have a button, which is quite a little bit too big. Okay, that's weird. So layout, we do have what? Container sizing. No, we don't want to fill. We want it to be shrink and and shrink end. And there we will give it some size. Let's go with 320 and maybe 80, and give it reset grid as name. Oh, all right. That's something in the eyes. Cool. So now we have a button to reset the grid. So let's just see how it looks like in the game. Yeah, it looks fine. Oh yeah, there's a problem. That's a common mistake in user interface, so it's very, don't bother too much. Here, well, we have in user interface what we call, how do we call it? Mouse filter? Yes, mouse filter. Is it? The idea is that some objects will block the mouse from reaching whatever you're clicking. So here we should probably set the filter mouth of this margin to ignore, so that when we're clicking through it, it doesn't block the mouse. Because right there, if you really look into it, so let's put it back. Okay. So what's happening is basically we have the sifting games, but in front of the sifting game, you have an entire margin, right, which takes the entire screen and the button. Of course, we can change this by having the margin above the grid container, because what's in front is the last child, always. So the closest child is what's at the back. So here, if we start it, it should work again. And yeah, but here, actually, it doesn't really matter. What we do want is to have the buttons on the front and just the margin to be mouse ignore. It's actually weird that pass don't do anything. Pass. The control will receive mouse movements, inputs, and the control will receive mouse entered signal. If this control does not handle the event, the parent control will be considered. And so, oh yes, it's the parent. Wait. Okay. So yeah, let's just go with ignore. So now we need to add a little bit of code to make this button to regenerate the grid. So let's create a function reset eyes. So here, what I want to do is to basically get rid of all the ties and recreate new ties. So it's actually quite good because we do have a dictionary which contains all the ties within it. So we can loop through the dictionary to grab each node one by one and destroy them. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just get the node and change their values. So that's probably a little bit smarter than just destroying and regenerating. But that will require probably a new method, because here we are adding the nodes. Yeah. So maybe we need to create a reset tiles method, which will set it all to empty, and then we can call on generate loot. So let's create this reset tiles method. I mean, it's already created actually. All right, so let's rename this actually. Wow. All right. So now the button, which is actually not connected, so let's connect it, should be resetting the grid. So on button pressed, on reset button. That will be a little bit better. Let's name this reset button. Yep. So maybe we can try to have this work. So what I can click, that's cool. All right. Are you back to whatever you were? Yes, why are you on pass? Save this. So we said reveal a few times. Oh, that sounds nice. And we reset the grid, which doesn't work. Interesting. And for the time we changed to empty. All right. So probably we want to force all the tiles. Actually, we need, I guess, a method in the tiles to update their state. Let's go with reset tile. We will have this method which reset the tile, and then here we will just use tiles.key.reset. Why is there no auto completion? That's annoying. I don't like it. Yikes. Anyway, reset tile. Okay, so we have an error. Method reset tile is not present. Variant. Well, is that because it is a dictionary? We don't have the type. Yeah, we don't have the type of what's in the dictionary. Yeah, that's a little bit too bad. Maybe there's a way to type this, but I'm not aware of it. So we don't ignore. So here I can reveal a few tiles and reset the grid. Yep. And actually, yeah, the Stardust here moved. That's a good thing. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really? Nice. All right, so the reset grid button works. Now what we do want is to actually try to consume Stardust, well, ionized Stardust really, when we turn a tile so that it can be revealed, okay? But what I'm gonna do first, before anything, I will go in and Saver and allow the game to save and load, because at the moment we have disabled the loading for testing reasons, but I will actually use it now so that I can create a few nebulas which will generate ionized stardust, so we do have ionized stardust on the side. So I'm gonna do this and come back. Saves and start again. Actually, we didn't load for so long. I'm not even sure it's working. Something's weird. We have way more than 5 stardust consumption here. We have 7. But why is it counting 4? That's a bug we will have to deal with later on. Yeah, now we don't want to add a check when we click on a tile. So here, basically, we want to have a check to see if we did success at consuming ionized stardust. That's going to be var error is equal to ionized stardust handler dot ref dot consume. Yep. And let's consume 1 at the moment. All right. So we have an error, and we're going to go with if error return. That's what we usually go with. Yeah. So in fact, I do want to check that we can't turn a tile without Stardust, so I'm going to remove the load. Yep, I'm going to remove the load. Oh, pause. And at the same time, I will delete the save file. Just there we go. So yeah, we don't have ionized Stardust, so we can turn tiles. Right, that makes sense. Let's change the data and give us 5. So I should be able to turn 5 tiles. And no more. Right, exactly like what we want. So that's cool, that's cool. Now, we do want to have a Stardust generation here. And I was thinking maybe we can generate a random amount of Stardust. Let's say, I don't know, between 1 and 5. Or 2 and 5. That's going to be cool. Yeah, let's do that. So let's go to our SiftingTile. Where is it? Oh, that's just the wrong script. My bad. So yes, if the tile is Stardust, then here we change the texture and we get a generated Stardust with an int equal to round the range. And that's going to be between 2 and 5. And then we're going to go with handler Stardust generator dot ref dot create. Is it create? No. Is it generate? Oh, I'm actually in the wrong handler. Create Stardust with generated Stardust. Right. So let's try again. Wow, we did get 3, right? So this works. So now we do generate Stardust when we turn a tile. Very good. Very good. What can we do next? Well, we do have to bind the Consciousness Core drop as well. That's for sure. I don't think we do have a handler for consciousness cores. Oh, we do. Cool. I forgot about that. Awesome. Let's use it right away. That's always going to be 1. Let's not exaggerate. Wow, I'm so happy. That's crazy. Yeah. So we do have this generation going on. All right. It's 24 minutes minus the editing. Yeah, maybe we can create the upgrade actually. Yeah. Let's do a simple upgrade. A very simple upgrade that will allow us to unlock this. So I don't want to spend too much time on this. We've made lots of upgrades. So I will just have this in speed up. I will not explain very much because if you need more explanation on upgrades, just go back to the adding more CC upgrades. So yeah. Okay, so that's done. This is done. Very cool. It's 35 minutes in, so I wanted to add something, and I will leave this for another time. And what I'm going to do instead is add a tooltip. So, yeah, there I'm going to add a texture. As for the layout, it's going to be 64. And I do want this to be shrink end and shrink begin. And here I can use the texture question mark. And I want to have it white. Yep. Have the texture, the filter to nearest. Or linear maybe? Nah, linear is better for these guys. Yep. And then tooltips. So let's write something about what's going on. The margin is actually quite big. Maybe I can reduce the margin a little bit. 32 is going to be fine. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Let's just make a little shot for the intro of the video. So that's it for this episode. It's a bit shorter than I expected, and it's very cool. It's better this way. We do have noticed a bug which will be dealt with in the next episode. Maybe the next one actually will depend on if I do want to show you the future of what's going on. So if you want to be informed on what's gonna come in the next episode, actually, I will be sharing that on the Discord rather than in the videos themselves, because usually there's quite a huge delay between the moment I'm saying something on the record and the moment it is released. So yeah, instead I will use Discord, which has no delay, because I've been quite surprised by this in the recent episodes, and the schedule changed, etc., etc. So yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching this episode. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next one.